Hi grammar students, this is Chelsea with Let's Talk. Today let's break down verbs with infinitives or gerunds. So previously we talked about verbs that can be followed by a gerund and an infinitive. For some of them, it needs a gerund. We discussed going to the gym. In this case, it has to be an infinitive. We discussed has to be followed by an ing. We discussed going. I can't say we discussed to go. It doesn't work. It's not English. There are other verbs that have to be followed by an infinitive. He offered to pay for our gym membership. So offered to pay, we can't say he offered paying. It has to be an infinitive. Other times we have verbs that can use the gerund or the infinitive. It doesn't matter. I can say he likes counting calories. Or I can say he likes to count calories. And these two sentences have the same meaning. It doesn't matter if it's the gerund or the infinitive. So we've talked about these three categories of verbs. We have another category when a verb can be followed by an infinitive or a gerund, but it will have a different meaning. So let me show you what I mean. The verb forget. Forget can be followed by a gerund or an infinitive. So let's start with the infinitive. I forgot to stretch before lifting weights. Ouch. So here, infinitive forgot to stretch. There's also the gerund. I forgot walking all those steps in Rome. So our first one with the infinitive, forget means that you didn't remember something you need to do. So I should have known I need to stretch before lifting weights, but I forgot. It just was gone from my memory. I didn't remember this thing that I needed to do. But our gerund form, I forgot walking all those steps in Rome, is to not remember something from your past. So this was a thing that happened before. I walked a bunch of steps in Rome, but for a minute, it wasn't there. I could not remember this thing from my past. So they're both to do with your memory, but they're used in different ways. The infinitive, you didn't remember something you needed to do. The gerund is you didn't remember something that occurred, something that happened. So the verb remember will have pretty much the same difference. So again, starting with the infinitive. I remembered to get some spinach. Versus the gerund. I remember meeting the president. So, kind of like forget. With our infinitive, it means you did remember something that you needed to do. You didn't forget. So you did not forget something you needed to do. Versus our gerund, I remember meeting, is to not forget something from the past. So some kind of cool thing that happened in the past or boring thing that happened in the past versus like a list. It was on a list of things you needed to do and you didn't forget, you did it. You remembered to get some spinach. Let's talk about regret. With an infinitive, we regret to inform you that the meeting has been canceled. Versus the infinitive, I regret starting to smoke. So with the infinitive, this is used in very formal, very polite speech. And it means that you have to give some bad news. So I regret to inform you. It's like, I'm sorry that I have to tell you this. Some kind of bad news, but it's very formal, not used in a casual statement. With our gerund, it's you feel bad about something in your past. So like you wish you hadn't done that thing in the past. I regret starting to smoke. I wish I hadn't ever smoked. So something in the past that you feel bad about with this gerund form. Help also has a gerund form and an infinitive form. I could say, I helped my brother to get fit. So with the infinitive, we'll have an object first. Our verb help, then an object, then the infinitive. And actually with help, to is optional. I could also say, I helped my brother get fit, and that would be fine as well. With a gerund, it has to be in a negative form of can't help. He couldn't help gaining weight on vacation. So when we use help with an object and an infinitive, it means to assist, to give your help to someone. Give your assistance to someone or something. With our can't and the gerund can't help plus the gerund, it means you can't stop yourself. Like it's involuntary. There's nothing you could do to stop this. It just happened. He couldn't help gaining weight on vacation. Everywhere he went, there was delicious food, and he just couldn't stop. All right, need. We can use need with an infinitive. I need to hire a personal trainer. Or with a gerund. My gym clothes, need washing. So our first one with the infinitive, that's kind of the form that you're used to. You need to do something, something is required. It has to happen. I'm not losing weight on my own, so I need to hire a personal trainer. With the gerund, it's kind of an odd form. It's almost like the passive voice. I'm saying that something needs to be done. So someone needs to wash my gym clothes. Maybe me, maybe the laundromat, maybe my mom, but my gym clothes need washing. All right, 2 more. First one is stop. So with an infinitive, on our drive, we stopped to get food. Versus, let's see. I stopped gaining weight when I quit my job. So when we use stop with an infinitive, it tells us the reason why you stopped doing something. The reason why you stopped some kind of activity. So why did we stop driving? We needed to get food. This is the reason why we did that. With the gerund form, it means that something didn't happen anymore. So when I quit my job, I stopped gaining weight, means I stayed the same weight. Maybe I lost weight, but gaining weight didn't happen anymore. That was finished. Okay, our last one is try. So with the infinitive, let's see. We've been trying to walk more. With the gerund, he tried counting calories. Reducing sugar. And exercising. But he couldn't lose weight. So with our first one, the infinitive, it's kind of like we're making an effort. I'm not sure if we're always succeeding, but we're getting out there, we're doing it, we're making an effort. We've been trying to walk more, so 3 times a week we go out and walk. We don't always succeed, but we do try. With the gerund though, it can be used either to give a suggestion or to talk about testing something. We're trying to figure out what works. So in this example, it's kind of testing. He tried this, he tried that, he tried this. We're not sure what's gonna work, so I'm gonna try doing this, I'm gonna try doing this. Maybe something will end up working, I don't know. As a suggestion, I could ask, have you tried counting calories? And that's a way for me to give a polite suggestion. Have you tried reducing sugar? Have you tried exercising? A polite suggestion. So with the gerund, it can be either one. All right, guys, I know this is confusing, so make sure you get some good practice in with the two forms. In the comments, tell me something that you often try to do. This is Chelsea reminding you it's not nerdy being wordy. Let's talk soon.